So Alan, what brings you out here to the middle of the woods?
Well, to explain Chris's gift. So this is a Japanese knife, right-handed. If you're going to use this, which you probably should as a guard, you're always sliding it in and out on its back. And that's just so you don't cut into the wood as you're putting it back in over the years. As I said, it's a right-handed knife. You see one side is flat, one side is curved. The reason I wanted to get this knife is because I know you guys go through a lot of wild game and fish, and that's essentially what it's meant for. You're not going to fillet a fish with it, but you are going to cut through bone if you're dealing with caribou, any fowl, and or big fish to sort of get it through. The reason I got this knife is because it's going to last you guys a long time, theoretically, if you take care of it. Every time you do use it, it's important to actually wipe it down and dry it, because it is a steel, it's not an alloy, it will rust. The other part
Why did they choose steel versus an alloy?
Well, because when you heat treat it, it actually maintains its edge longer and harder. So it's not a soft metal, it's a very hard metal, which makes it brittle, but nonetheless that's what you want when you got a knife. After about 3 or 4 months, it may actually require sharpening, which is why I've got your sharpening stone. Now this is a wet stone, so what you do with it is you soak it in water for about 15 minutes, you take it out, and you're working this side, the beveled side of the blade. And what you're doing is you're working...
Can I just see that beveled side of the blade a little bit more?
This is the beveled side.
Okay.
With the kanji denoting the maker.
Right.
What you're doing is when this is wet and you pull it out of the water and you affix it somewhere and you're working it, you're actually working small parts of the knife and you're working it from top to bottom. You're going to have a weird wear in the stone when you, over the years, when your stone sort of develops weird curvatures. You can either just turn it over or find some asphalt and just rub it until it's flat again. As you're working the knife, you're working from the front to the back. So you work this part, and what you're going to do is develop a slurry. And the slurry is actually the part that you want to not wipe off, you want to keep there because that is the formation of the grit that actually sharpens the metal. So you work the front all the way to the back, portion by portion, and what you'll see is you'll see little burrs, and that's when you stop. When you start to see little burrs curl up on the flat side of the blade, that means it's sharp. And once you're done, all right, just cut myself, that easy.
Wow.
Once you're done from the bottom to the top and you've got little tiny burrs, I'm not saying to make it so that it looks like the whole blade has been folded
What does
over.
burrs mean though? Because you've lost me at that.
Burrs is when you sharpen so much and the metal is so thin that it actually starts to curl up on this side a little bit. So when you've done all that, you just simply wipe it a few times on the opposite side and clean off the burrs. Okay. And you're officially sharp for another 4 months.
Okay.
And so it's just important to keep the knife clean when you're done using it. Wipe it off, dry it, again because it will rust. You can actually de-rust it a little bit if it comes to that off the stone. But theoretically, if you sort of keep it dry after you're done using it, you won't have that issue. Again, when you're sliding it back into this, which is called the saya, slide it on its back, the pin holds it, and you've got a knife for life.
Wow.
This is your gift. I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.